Hello folks, this is Solo speaking. You're listening to another video for Teamfight Tactics. This is taken from another double up game. This time I'm joined by JDP El Grillo. You'll note that the entire lobby is made up of people who are diamond in double up, except for Grillo, who is, at the time of this video, Platinum 1. We are trying to get him to diamond as well. He's very close, it's just a matter of time. I think he was, unfortunately though, we played a game earlier this evening, and we finished in fourth place. We went out in fourth, and then on the very next round, second and third went out. So we went out on when the other two teams were on 1 HP, so it was a little frustrating. But anyway, getting close. Anyway, in this video, we're going to take a look at a Jinx carry game. Yes, this is something you don't see that often. It's going to be Jinx as the featured unit. And then, of course, we're going to build the rest of the team composition around Jinx, but not something that I've done before in another video. And a bit of an unorthodox playthrough, but I got all the pieces to make this work in this particular game, and it ended up going pretty well. There are actually a couple of things I could have done to make the build even stronger, and I'll try to talk about them as we go through the game, because that's one of the reasons why I do these, is I try to use them as a teaching tool for me, so that I can learn a little bit more about how things go. Okay, so right off here on the initial minion round, I get dropped a Jinx, and interestingly enough, I also get dropped a Warwick, which is kind of noteworthy. That means that not only do I have the opportunity to play Jinx, I also could see what the initial Zaun item is. The Jinx and Warwick both have the Zaun trait. Zaun gives additional items that have kind of special properties, so I can check to see what the first Zaun item is just by putting both of them on the board at the same time, and then deciding where I want to go from there. Otherwise, I haven't really done that much. I'm just, put some bruisers in for frontline, and then I'm just buying up other champions depending on what we have. There's another Jinx, and there's also Tristana. So at this point, I was like, I'm thinking maybe I should play through the Jinx at least in the early game, and then that feels like it could be a pretty good way to go here. Grillo, by the way, you see that I had 2 out of 3 Jinxes, and Grillo had a Jinx in his store. And I also see what the Zaun item is. It's Robotic Arm. And as soon as I see that, I was like, ooh, I think we're going to play through Jinx in this game because we have all the pieces to make this work. So Grillo sent me a 1-star Jinx. I had 2 out of 3. That made the 2-star Jinx. We did it very, very early on here because that allows us to get the champion send back. The portal at the beginning was Jace's workshop, which means the first augment's going to be prismatic. I am running Vlad specifically for these cases. I can take Transfusion 3, which is a good choice, but I have something that I think is even better here. Cybernetic Leech 3. Units holding an item gain additional health and Omnivamp. And that's really nice because it means I will not have to itemize healing on my board. So I did think about this for a little while. By the way, there's another Jinx. We're already on 4 Jinxes, and it's only stage 2-1. So yeah, not the worst here. So I'm actually going to play the Warwick over the Renekton here, just so I can get the Zaun item in play for Jinx. And the Zaun item is Robotic Arm. So let me just cover what that does, because this is new to this set, these specific Zaun items. All right, Robotic Arm, I'll read the description. Attacks have 50% chance to trigger 1 additional attack. So every time the unit auto-attacks, they have a chance to trigger a second attack. This is seen as being very strong on Jinx in particular. I don't know if I'm honestly not sure if this interacts with her ultimate or not. I think that the logic is that it interacts with her ultimate and causes, every time she uses her ult, she fires off, a whole bunch of shots. I believe the Robotic Arm interacts with that, but I'm not 100% sure. And I think that that's the reason why people very highly prize playing Jinx with this particular augment, with this particular Zaun item. But I could be wrong. I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, as far as what Grillo's doing, he took the Tome of Traits option. The Prismatic is double Tome of Traits, and he's going to pull them and see what he gets. Well, he pulls a Sork emblem, and then he pulls another Sork emblem. So we were like, oh my god, double Sork emblems here. Okay. The previous video I put up on YouTube for Teamfight Tactics involved Headwinder playing a Sork's board where he literally did the same thing. He pulled double Sork emblems from the Prismatic Tome of Traits. So we had the same thing here, but in the previous game I put up, Headwinder did that on the stage 3 augment. Grillo does it on the stage 2 augment, which is actually much better because now he can head directly towards a Sork's board right from the start. So that's definitely going to be stronger. Excuse me there. All right, so this round was pretty close. I think I might have won that round anyway, because I only have My board was only level 3. I only had 3 units in against 4 units on the other side. By the way, there is yet another Jinx. So now I can put in the Trist for Gunners. I actually would like to put in the Vi, because the Vi would put a Bruiser trait in play. But I figured that getting Gunner trait in play was actually a little bit better, because I want that stacking AD, and the 2-star Cho has been reasonably tanky thus far. So yeah, anyway, Grillo's going to be putting towards the Sorks. He actually has 4 Sorks in and a Sork emblem on his bench, because he literally only can play 4 units at a time, so he can't put the Sork emblem on anybody else. And so we're going to have this kind of weird game where I'm playing Jinx carry, and then he is going to be going very heavy into the vertical sorcerers. All right, so I'm up against this board. This person, it looks like they're going for either Trist reroll or Kale reroll. Actually, I think they're going for Trist reroll, and they actually have quite a few 2-stars already, but it looks like the Jinx with the robotic arm is just a little bit too strong. I actually punched to that board pretty quickly, given all their 2-stars. And yeah, I'm on 5 Jinxes already. That's a little bit crazy to have that many Jinxes this early in the game. So now I'm going to be looking to try to itemize Jinx. And if you're playing her as carry, what are the items that people typically build? Excuse me. Oh boy, if I knew I was going to sneeze like this, I would have waited until a little bit later to do the cast. Okay. So the 2 core items that I've seen people build on her are Spear of Shojin, so that she casts more often, so that she gets off more casts of her ult, and Runin's Hurricane, because Hurricane interacts with her ultimate. Her attacks, her ultimate counts as attacks for purposes of Runin's Hurricane, and so every time she fires those shots, she will get the extra bolts from Runin's Hurricane. Well, it used to be on every tick of her ult. I believe they changed it so it's every other shot from her ult procs Runin's Hurricane. But there is an interaction there between her and the Runins, so that's why people typically go for that. All right, now I was also able to find a Jace in the store, so I'll just play Jace, a much better gunner than Trist. This also gives me a Piltover option as well. If you note that I have 2 out of 3 Piltover in, and I probably should grab the Orianna here, because that would allow me to play Piltover. But I don't want to take the Warwick out, because I don't want to lose that robotic arm, and that's the only Zaun option. I'm hoping that maybe I can find an Echo who is also Piltover plus Zaun, and that would allow me to run Piltover plus Zaun here in the early game. That would actually be pretty nice. So the net result is my board is, I'm pretty poor here. I actually need to keep win streaking pretty badly, because my econ is not great. And that's largely because I have so many Jinxes on my board. I have 5 Jinxes already. And then I have to find 2 Tarics in my store as well. So the Tarics are not going to do a whole lot for me, but they're going to be spectacular for Grillo's board, his Cirque's board. So I'm going to pick both of them up. And then I'm also going to pick up this Jace, because I have 2 out of 3 Jaces now. So what we're going to end up doing here is we're going to double send for the Taric. What do I mean by that is he had 1 Taric, I had 2 Tarics. He uses 1 send to me, and that creates a 2-star Taric, and then I'm going to send it back to him, and then that's going to create, that's going to get him the 2-star Taric back. So I unfortunately do not have my champion send just yet. I have to wait another round for that to be the case. So I'm just going to play the 2-star Taric on my board. Doesn't make any traits, but I think that's definitely better than a 1-star Vi, even if it doesn't make any particular traits. So we'll just put Taric up there and play him for the time being. But obviously I'm pretty poor here. Again, I've spent money gold on a 2-star Taric. I bought 5 Jinxes. And then I bought 2 out of 3 Jaces, so like that's a lot of gold to be spending there. Anyway, I'm going to come over to Grillo's board. Can we keep winning here? At least I've been able to win streak all the way through stage 2, which is really nice. And yes, fortunately, we're going to be able to win that round as well. And that's good because this other team was also on a pretty good win streak, and we were able to interrupt it there. By the way, there's just straight up Jace. So I've got 5 Jinxes and 2-star Jace. Yeah, that's pretty early to have this in. So my economy is not especially great, but at least it's because I've been spending it on board strength, not like re-rolling or doing some nonsensical thing with my board. Anyway, I'll just put the Vi back in, because now I'll be able to play. I should get the champion send back after this round, and then I'm going to go ahead and send the Taric back to Grillo, and that's going to be his core frontliner. In his Cirque's board that he's building. Okay, so I get a cloak. That's not bad. If I'd known I was going to get a cloak, I might not have taken it off the carousel, but don't know that. And then I get a tier. I get some champs I don't need. I'm trying to sell to get to 20. It's important I get to 20 here. And then I get a Darius, which I also don't need. And I get a Rod. I was like, oof. Now, unfortunately, these are not the items I'm looking for. These are mostly AP items. I can go ahead and make a Gargoyle Stoneplate with the cloak, so I'll certainly do that. But the other items are not especially great. By the way, 2 more Chos here, but no, I'm not going in that direction. So anyway, there goes the Taric. And we'll go ahead and grab this. And then now I have some units that I might want to pick up for Grillo here. I've got a Vel'Koz, and he's building a Sorks board. So I'll go ahead and hold that because that might be useful for a future send. There's also a Swain as well, but I don't necessarily want to send that. Now, I would really like to level here because I'm on full win streak, but the problem is there's not really anything for me to put in. I do wish that I had saved that Orianna from earlier, even though I think it would have cost me hitting an income breakpoint. I wish I'd saved the Ori because otherwise I would look to level and play the Ori, and that would put Piltover in, and I could start stacking up the T-Hex, and I think that that would be useful. Obviously, finding an Echo would be better, but in the event of not finding that, this is probably the best I can do. So yeah, I was definitely able to get a bit stronger there, but I do wish I'd been able to get a sword to make Spear of Shojin, just because that definitely helps Jinx get her ult off a little bit better. The good news is we're definitely win streaking here. We're in pretty good shape. And yeah, I just want to try to get up to higher levels. And I'm going to have to think about when I want to roll for Jinx 3-star is kind of the other thing, because I definitely want Jinx 3-star. All right, we have our second augment here. I'm trying to find something. The second Vlad augment is not very good. You really shouldn't take that one. It used to be good, but it was nerfed pretty hard. There's another Jinx on the bench, by the way, over there. And I'm going to check what my other options are. Infusion, I was like, I guess I can take Infusion, but oh, a cut above. This one is gain a Deathblade. And units killed by the unit holding it have 40% odds to drop a gold. So this is pretty nice because this is basically an econ augment as well as being an additional damage augment. It's useful for me because Jinx really needs sword-based items. Ideally, I would have Hurricane plus Spear of Shojin, and then the last item would be best if I could get a like an Infinity Edge, because that would allow her damage to crit. But in the absence of that, Deathblade is not bad. There is some anti-synergy here in the sense that Gunner's trait gives you stacking AD, and the Deathblade just gives you more AD, so it's definitely not as good as if I had, like I said, not as good as if I had like an Infinity Edge, which would allow her damage to crit. But in the absence of that, I'm pretty happy with this because, like I said, this is also an econ augment. As Jinx kills things, she will also print money for me. And remember, she does have the Cybernetic Leech for her first augment, so she does heal off the damage dealt. It's actually the difference in that fight. I'm pretty sure she would have died if I didn't have that. So that was a close fight, but I did manage to win that one. The downside is she did not print any gold in that fight. It's 40% odds to print a gold coin if they get the kill. But Jinx is definitely killing most of the enemies on my board. And by the way, I went through 6 Jinxes, and Grillo has 2 more. So we were like, getting pretty close there. So I'm actually just playing double Jinxes on my board. The other Jinx has no items, of course, but I might as well just play that. It's better than anything else I could play. I did consider stuffing the Kaisa on my board. Technically, that would make Challenger's trait, but Warwick is just in there as a trait bot for Zaun, and getting Challenger trait really does nothing for my board right now, so that's not going to do anything. Better just to play the second Jinx, who will benefit from Gunner's trait. And if you're wondering why are they all bunched up together there, well, Jace, when he puts his acceleration gate down, gives additional attack speed to the 2 units that stand on either side of him, and so that's why you got to stand next to Jace if you want to get that acceleration gate bonus. By the way, did I get any gold there? I think I got 1 coin from the Deathblade there. So far it hasn't been doing that much, but 40% odds are pretty good. Sooner or later, that 40% is going to hit. Okay, we have another carousel here, so time to pick something off the carousel. I would love the Sejuani. I could definitely use more frontline here. I would also love to get a sword, but there is no sword, unfortunately. I wouldn't have minded a bow, because that could be a Rage Blade. I have to start thinking about building Zeri items as well. But that is the only bow is gone pretty quickly, so looks like it's not going to be any of those options there. So out of this, I definitely don't need another tier. That's definitely not what I need. So I will go ahead and take this belt. There are actually quite a few belts here. I think there were 3 belts on this carousel. And I can actually make use of the tier here by building Redemption and putting it on a front line. By the way, there's another Jinx here as well. Holy cow, am I seeing Jinxes. So many Jinxes in this lobby. Anyway, so I get a gift round here. There was no spatula option this time. Not that spatula would have done a whole lot in this game. I take the training dummies because, as I've said, the Gunners is a comp that just needs more frontline. And frontline's kind of my weakness right now. The Gunners are doing a tremendous amount of damage. I just need to protect them. So I'm going to take the training dummies because, as I said, I need additional frontline. I think it was about this time that we also had the idea. We realized, hey, wait a minute. Grillo has a champion duplicator, but it's the lesser champion duplicator. Well, one thing he could do is he could just champion duplicate the Jinx. He has 2 out of 3 Jinxes on his board. He can champion duplicate that and just send it to me. And then that's going to give him, that's going to give me the 3-star Jinx. So we were like, yeah, let's just do that. We might as well. It's not like he really needs the champion duplicator that badly. I suppose he could use it for like trying to 3-star Vel'Koz or something like that. But it seems better just to get the 3-star Jinx in play immediately. That should let us continue win streaking for the time being. And it also means now I can rush level 8. I don't have to stay here on like level... don't have to stay here on like level 6 trying to reroll for Jinx. We can just immediately push levels, try to get to level 8, find Zeri, and I think I probably want to play 4 Zon this game so I can get another Zon item. And then hopefully put another Zon item on Zeri would be the ideal. Hopefully I can get another one of the good ones. All right, so here we've got another gift round. This is the other side of the gift round we just did. I had the chance to send something back to Grillo, and I believe he takes the component anvil out of these options. Or does he take the spatula? Oh, no, he takes the spatula because he's just going to go for more Sorc emblems. He actually got another Sorc emblem from his second augment. So he's actually on 3 Sorc emblems right now. Actually on 3 Sorc emblems. Pretty crazy. In any case, I will go ahead and put in Orianna here because that will put Piltover trait in play, and we can at least start stacking up the T-Hex. Ori is pretty useless, but better than anything else I think I can do right now. I don't think I can see anything else that would be particularly useful here. And I'm really hoping I can win this round, keep the win streak going. We've done a great job of preserving health. We're still on 96 HP, and we've both been on big win streaks for a long time now. So yeah, hopefully we can keep this going. I'm hopeful that the 3-star Jinx is just going to be pretty strong here. She finally has started printing me some gold. I've been getting those 40% procs to go off. So I think she printed me like 3 gold in the last round, and she's kind of going crazy in this fight as well. So like I said, this both made my board stronger, and it's giving me additional econ. Yeah, she printed 4 gold in that round, which is really nice. So even though my econ was bad in the early game, it's kind of recovered here, and I'll be able to go to level 7, and I can probably just rush to a fast level 8 now based on what I've got. Okay, so we get the Send back, and it's right before it's going to transform into the more expensive Send. So I was like, oh, why don't I just send you this Vel'Koz, Grillo, because, as I said, it's going to be more expensive to do a Send afterwards. And we're actually both pushing levels. We both want to get to level 8 quickly. Grillo, so we can play 8 Sorcs. He has to be level 8 to play 8 Sorcs. And me, because I want to try to find Zeri more reliably, and maybe find Senna. Senna would be great if I could find her as well. But I have no realistic odds to find her on level 7, only 1% odds. By the way, items not great. I get a rod and a cloak, and I was like, ugh. Well, this is definitely not what I'm looking for here. So I'll go ahead and make Ionic Spark. It's really not a good fit for this board, but I don't really have much use for this many rods. I still have another rod on my bench. I'm hoping that can be used for a Rage Blade, but I certainly don't need multiple rods, so go ahead and just kill that by making an Ionic Spark, which is decent. There's some magic damage in this comp, but it's mostly physical, so it's a bit of a waste. Anyway, while we've got a second here, let me go ahead and read Jinx's formal description, just so I can cover what she does, because I don't think I've specifically talked about her. All right, she's Gunner plus Zon, if that wasn't already cleared. Her ability is called Fishbones. It currently costs 75 mana. Fire 5 rockets at random enemies within 2 hexes of the current target. Each rocket deals physical damage. And it's actually interesting. Apparently it does a small amount of magic damage as well. Interesting, I didn't realize that. So it looks like it does do a small amount of magic damage as well. And then as she levels up, obviously at higher star ranks, she gets higher base stats, and so of course she's going to deal more damage. All right, it's time for the third augment here. Ascension would not be terrible, but I think I can find better stuff. It's not Bruiser Crest for sure. So, and then I see, oh, it's Zon Crest. I was like, oh, Zon Crest. I can get an additional Zon unit in. Well, that'll make it very easy to play 4 Zon. I was like, okay, so this makes it easy to play 4 Zon, 4 Gunners. And I'm going to turn a unit into a Zon unit. I was like, you know what? Vi's probably going to stay in this comp for Piltover. Let's put that on her for right now. It does give her additional health just because the Zon emblem is worth 150 health. And then it gives her another 250 health because I have that Cybernetic Leech augment. So she actually got 400 health from just slapping that on her. I am unfortunately stuck at 3 Zon. I desperately want to find an Echo so I can dump the Orianna, and so I can get a 4 Zon in, and I get a second Zon item. So that's the hope there. But now my goal is I can easily play 4 Zon, 4 Gunners with this, and that's the hope. Find Zeri, find Senna, and then look to play 4 Gunners, 4 Zon, and then I try to itemize Zeri as my other carry, but I need to find her so far. I'm not rolling on 7. My goal is to go to 8 and roll on 8. All right, so this is a close fight. Unfortunately, Jinx decides she's going to shoot at not the Azir, which is a little unfortunate, and so I end up narrowly losing the round. But again, that person had spent all their gold. They were 0 gold level 8. and I have not rolled at all yet. So I'm confident that I can do better if I can just get up to level 8. Also, Grillo is getting close to level 8 as well. He has 1, 2, 3. He has how many Sork emblems at this point? I think he has 3 Sork emblems. Plus, he has a spatula on his bench, so he can potentially make another one if he gets another tier. Oh, he is starting to hit the point of diminishing returns on this on the Sork emblems. There is a point at which it's not really worthwhile to have that many Sork emblems because you're starting to get so many emblems you don't have that many actual items. But it is kind of funny how many of these he does end up having right now. All right, so another round here. I'm planning to go to level 8 and roll. I'm going to be level 8 with like 50 gold to roll with at the end of this, which is going to be pretty nice. Hopefully Jinx has enough damage to finish off these other targets. And looks like she does, but can she win before I get reinforced on? Yes. And she printed me another coin or two as well. So now I'll go over to Grillo's board. I actually have the chance to farm more gold off that Deathblade on Grillo's board. And I believe Jinx farms like 2 more coins there. So yeah, she actually farmed quite a bit of gold in that round. So I'm very happy with that second augment, and hopefully I can make good use of the Zaun augment here as well. All right, so as far as options, again, I really want a did I get a sword? Yeah, I really want a sword so I can make Spear of Shojin. So I'd like that Azir. Unfortunately, with this being on an Azir, it's probably going to be pretty contested in this lobby. We also do have a team that's all the way down on 1 HP. I was like, oh, is that sword still going to be there? Come on, nobody wants that sword. Nobody wants the sword. No, So instead, I'm going to have to take the Zeri. It's the best I can do out of these options. Just take the Zeri and use it so I can play 4 gunners here, guaranteed. Unfortunately, I don't have any items for Zeri, which is, like I said, I kept getting all these AP items, which is a little bit sad. Now, there's a Bel'Veth here. One thing I could have done is I could have considered just playing Bel'Veth as a Zaun unit, and I actually think that would have been pretty good. So I think that was maybe a mistake. I could have looked to maybe play that unit, like dump the Vi, play Bel'Veth instead. There's also a Sedge in this store, so I definitely need to pick that up. Do I remember to grab this unit? Second Zaun item is Hextech Exoskeleton. So I'm going to take that and put it on. Oh, I went past the Sejuani. That's really bad. I actually missed that unit. Whoops. And then there's another Bel'Veth here as well. Instead, I really think playing Bel'Veth as a Zaun unit and giving her... I could have like given her the... could have played Bel'Veth and given her the Hextech Exoskeleton, which I think would have been pretty good. And maybe I could have looked to lean into this and actually play 6 Zaun. So this is so anyway. Also missing the Sejuani is pretty bad. That's the unit I need to replace Cho, and I went by one of them in the store. So I'm trying to reconfigure my board. I did manage to get 4 Gunner, 4 Zaun, but the problem here is I don't have items for Zeri. And I've been getting all tank items and all AP items, which is not going to do a whole lot for my board. I do have the send here, but I don't have anything to send over to Grillo at the moment. I guess I could send a Vel'Koz, but it doesn't feel that useful to just send a 1-star Vel'Koz. I've also got the 2-star Warwick. So anyway, I do finally realize, yes, I can ditch the Ori and just play Echo. So now I'm at 5 Zaun, 4 Gunner, and then this is where I think I make my biggest mistake of the game. Part of the reason why I cast these games, I've mentioned this before, is to try to find mistakes. I do find some Luxes, though, so I can look to send that over to Grillo, and that actually should be a help. As I was saying, part of the mistake is... I'm on 5 Zaun and 4 Gunner. The problem is, though, Gunner's trade is not doing that much for me because I've already got the Deathblade, so I have plenty of AD already on the Jinx. So the Deathblade is kind of covers for Gunner's trade, and most of my Gunners are just not very strong. Like Trista's doing almost nothing; she just gives me Gunner's trade. Like Trista's not really doing much of anything on this board. So I think that what I should have done is leaned a little bit away from the Gunner's trait and leaned more into the Zaun trait in this game. I could have taken out Trist and played Warwick instead. Warwick's a 2-star unit. And by the way, so we ended up double sending for Lux again. We've now double sent twice for Grillo. He had 1 Lux. He sent it to me, and then I sent it combined into a 2-star on my board and went back to him. So he's now 8 Circs with 2-star Lux. That should be pretty strong right now, even though my board is falling off a little bit here. And then I'm going to look to grab Tariks and Sonas because he's getting reasonably close to 2-star Tarik and 2-star Sona. Okay, I finally get the sword, so that's really nice. And I'm going to be able to make that Spear of Shojin. But now I have to look to itemize Zeri, and I just don't have good items for Zeri, unfortunately. At least I do hit the 2-star Zeri, so that's nice. But like, what can I do with Zeri on these items? I guess I could Thief's Glove her, but I don't think that's quite right. I was like, I can do Guard Breaker. That's not bad. But then I was like, what else can I do here? Out of these items, I was like, well, I can make it so her ult can crit. I can give her Jeweled Gauntlet, then her ult can at least crit. So I guess that's something. And then I have a Gargoyles left over. So I want to put this on someone for Cybernetic Leech value. So I can put this on, and that's probably a mistake as well to put it on Vi because I want to get cybernetic leech value, the extra health, and the additional lifesteal. So I really should put something on Urgot. But like I could have taken out the Trist, and I could have played that 2-star Warwick, and that would have given me 6 Zon, which is what when that happens, you get a 3rd Zon item, and then they all overcharge as well. So they all gain a bonus ability. Ideally, I would have gotten another Zon item to put on Zeri, which would have been really nice. And then I would have gotten the overcharge on the rocket arm. So just to cover what that does, as I said, all of the Zon items get an additional ability when you put 6 on in, which requires an emblem, which I do have. The robotic arm, as I said, the basic is attacks have 50% chance to trigger 1 additional attack. But the overcharge benefit is attacks deal 50% of their attack damage as bonus true damage. That's really nice because you just shred right through tanks because they deal half of their damage as true damage. Really, really nice. And I mean, I could have gotten something like, I don't know, like maybe I could have gotten Virulent BioWare for Zeri, which is the one that releases a plague whenever you deal ability damage. The overcharge on that is plague duration is doubled, actually more than doubled, from 4 seconds to 10 seconds. And the plague deals 5% max health damage per second to the target. So I could have gotten something like that. I just think it would have made my board way stronger to do that. So this is a mistake. If I had Senna, it would be a different story. Like if I were playing Senna as my extra gunner, but I haven't found Senna yet. So to just play a Trist like for 4 gunners to stack up slightly more AD, I mean, it's okay, but it's definitely not as good as having 6 on in. So, as I said, part of the reason why I do these games is it's a learning tool. Now, my board is still not bad. This is a pretty close fight, but come up just a little bit short. Like I said, I think that with 6 on, I'm winning these rounds instead of losing these rounds. All right, anyway, so it's another gift round. As you saw there, I went ahead and took the component anvil, and I hated the items I got, so I reforged them. Managed to get a Rage Blade for Zeri, so I was pretty happy with that. As far as Grillo, he's going to take the completed item anvil, I believe. So he's going to take that, and then I believe that he goes ahead and is able to make is able to make another Sork emblem with that. Or no, what did he end up doing here? he made Ionic Spark with that. He has 4 Sork emblems over there. He has either 4 or 5 of them. He actually has so many, I can't even remember how many he has. So now I'm looking to try to itemize the Urgot on my board. Because Urgot I would like to have as another kind of off carry. He's not going to be doing too much with no items right now. And then I also need to try to hit Sejuani 2-star. As I mentioned, I went past a Sejuani earlier, which is kind of bad because she's holding all my tank items. So I'm relying on like this Vi to be my kind of side tank here. And hopefully try to get the T-Hex stacked up a little bit stronger. But this board actually just utterly destroys me. I was like, wait, what? I think that Urgot with the Death Stance and the Super Titan's Resolve I just didn't have an answer for that, and it just cut right through my front line, unfortunately. And then it goes over to Grillo's board, and it's going to be, or actually, no, it's over on a different board. Grillo lost to a different opponent here. So remember, we actually banked a tremendous amount of health earlier in the game. We were 80 HP like a short time ago, but that's been falling pretty quickly here. Yeah, it's been falling pretty fast, and it's not going especially well. Now, I also have another option here. What I should probably do is I should look to take these. I could look to take the Scion here. There's also a Senna on this carousel. I completely missed that there's a Senna on this carousel. So I end up taking the Zeri for the Zeri, but that's a mistake. I should have taken the Senna, and then I would have been able to play Senna, who would be infinitely better than Trist. So it's like, if I'm not going to play the 6 on, I should at least be looking to play Senna here. Instead, I end up taking the Zeri to get to 5 Zeri. So, and then I have a redemption that I can slap on Echo. It does give him the cybernetic leech benefit, but yeah, not the best decision right there. As I said, I've definitely made some real mistakes in this game. There was also the option to take Scion, and then I could have looked to play Scion. Of course, Grillo is playing Scion. What I could have done is, by taking Scion, is I could have gone ahead and sold the sold the T-Hex, cash out the T-Hex for whatever value it has, then sell Vi and then play Scion instead, and just put the Zon emblem on Scion. That probably is a lot better than playing 2-star Vi at this stage of the game, because again, my weakness is my front line. It's just not very good. I have the Vi, who's pretty outdated by this point in time in the game, and then I have a 1-star Sejuani. I'm actually quite glad I have the training tummies to give me a little extra front line. This round is close, but fortunately I managed to dodge the Zephyr. I saw that this person did have a Zephyr and was pointing it at the Jinx, and so I was able to dodge that and win the round and knock them down to 6 HP. Also, one of the players who's on a win streak was had it ended there. So this is a pretty close lobby. Oh, and the other thing we have to keep an eye on is I am up to 6 Zeries. So that was the one advantage of taking the Zeri off the carousel. As I said, I think it was probably a mistake, but I am up to 6 Zeries. So at this point, I was telling Grillo, hey, I'm on 6 of them, so I am getting close to a potential 3-star Zeri. So we got to keep an eye out for that as well. No one else is playing Zeri in this lobby. Now, Grillo has 6 Tariks and he has 6 Sonas. Meanwhile, I think I have 2 Tariks and 2 Sonas. Yeah, so we're very close to 3-starring the one of those units. I said what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll down after the minion round. There's no point in going to level 9 here. That would have been another path as well. Go to level 9 and play Warwick for 6 on plus 4 gunners. And I think if I had hit an early Zeri, that would have been an early Senna, I think that would have been the correct play. Like to just play Senna over Trist and then go to 9 and then play Warwick for the the 6 on plus 4 gunner. But since that did not happen, I'm staying here on level 8 and I'm going to roll on 8 and I'm going to, after the minion round, I'm going to roll here. I'm going to try to find either one more Sona or one more Tarik and then send to Grillo because it'll make the 3-star version of one of those units. And that'll definitely help his board. He has 1, 2, 3, 4. He has 5 Sork Tomes. Yeah, he has 5 Sork Tomes. That's probably too many. I also probably should have had him send me the Senna on his board because he could have played another unit. And the Senna would be just so much better than Tristana. It's not even funny how much better that unit would have been. And he could have easily played something else other than Senna on this board. So it probably should have looked to do that as well. Okay, good news is I have a lot of gold to roll with. So we're looking for more Zeris. By the way, there's an Ari, so I could potentially send that as well. Oh, wow, 2-star Trist. That'll definitely help. And there's the 2-star Sona, so I have that option as well. There's also a Rise, but that's not really going to help me. There's another Sedge, so that's good. And he's actually closer to Tarik. He actually has 7 Tarik, so I'm going to go ahead and send the Sona. And then out of these different options here, I was like, well, I just need an item for Urgot so we get cybernetic leech value. So I'll give him the Bramble Vest and basically just play him as a tank. The good news is I did manage to hit 2-star Sejuani. So even though I passed up one of them earlier, I was able to hit the 2-star Sejuani. So that gives me much more frontline. I'm definitely a lot better with that front line. Sejuani just holds up far better. That said, this board is really giving me problems, and I realize part of the issue is this Scion on the other team keeps charging into my backline over and over and over again. Scion will target clumps of units, and all my damage is clumped up because I'm trying to take the advantage of the Jace acceleration gate. By the way, we're going to see the team on 1 HP get knocked out of the lobby. They actually have a 3-star Azir. Yeah, 3-star Azir, but their partner lost, so they're out of the lobby. And that can happen sometimes. Like I said, they have the strongest board, but they were already on 1 HP and their partner gets knocked out. So, yeah, that, like I said, that can happen sometimes. So anyway, I think I sell the Tariks because I want to put them back in the pool. Does not look like the game is going to last long enough for us to get another one of the champion sends. So I want those to be in the pool so Grillo has a better chance of finding them. So now I'm buying the 4 costs. I'm looking for more Zeris. I don't think that I can beat these other boards unless I can find Zeri 3-star. Now, unfortunately, I didn't find that here. So I'm up against a Sork's board, and I'm going to make sure to reposition at the last second because this person has a Zephyr. And I'm hoping that I can dodge that Zephyr, and I do. Unfortunately, I do get shrouded by the Shroud of Stillness, so that's not great. And I'm also going to have a lot of problems with this Heimer turret that keeps self-repairing. So that's kind of annoying. I'm actually wasting a fair amount of damage hitting the self-repairing Heimer turret. So like now it's back healed again, and I'm going to waste some more attacks on it. At least I do manage to get through the Eternal Winter. Now, I definitely beat this board, but the problem is they've already beaten Grillo's board, and that's unfortunate. Yep, so they were able to reinforce in time, and like I said, I think that Heimer turret made the difference in just stalling out that fight long enough. So now we're down on 5 HP. Fortunately, the other team's on 4 HP, and I'm going to look to roll again. I'm looking for Zeris. I was like, oh, that's 7 Zeris. Can I find one more? That's 8 Zeris. Oh boy, 8 Zeris. Can I find one more? Just need one more Zeri. And it doesn't look like I'm going to get it here. Very unfortunate. Okay, I'm at 8 out of 9. 8 out of 9. So even though I've made a lot of mistakes in this game, I am close to hitting this. But I do miss position once again here. As I said, I have all my damage clumped in the corner. So where's Scion going to run? He's going to run right into that corner, and he's going to knock up everybody and CC them. So I need to spread out Jinx and Zeri. See, look, I guess Jinx didn't get knocked up, but still, it's a lot of CC hitting me in that corner. I don't want the Scion right on top of me, and I'm just having a lot of trouble with this board. Now, Grillo said he actually did better against the other board. I also did better against the other board, so I guess the other board is just weaker. But Grillo manages to win, so now we're tied at 1 HP. It's going to be one more round, and then that's going to be it. Unfortunately, there's no Zeri here. So I can't get a Zeri off carousel. There is a Gunner emblem. So there is the, now I wish I'd saved the Warwick. If I had saved the Warwick, I could have dumped Tristana and then put Warwick in, and I'd still have 4 Gunners. I could have turned like Urgot into a Gunner here, but there's probably not enough time to find a Warwick at this stage of the game. It's unlikely I'm going to find him. So now I'm just praying for Zeri. I was like, Zeri? And oh my god, I hit the Zeri. Holy cow. I've got the Zeri 3-star. Oh my goodness. Okay, so now I'm up against the player who has the Shroud of Stillness and the Zephyr. I just have to make sure that Zeri does not get hit by that Zephyr. That's the important thing. I also could have sold the T-Hex for more gold to roll with there. I do have a drop-in Shroud, so that's going to be pretty nice. So I just need to try to reposition here at the last second to make sure I don't get hit. I'm going to swap with the T-Hex, and then I need to drop in my Shroud. Okay, I'm not going to get hit by... The Zeri's not going to get hit by the Zephyr. Unfortunately, I do get shrouded there. That's unfortunate. And Jinx does get Zephyred. So I could have been a little bit better with that. I should have swapped the Jinx and the Jace at the last second. So do I have enough damage to win this fight? I've got the 3-star Zeri. Now that she's gone off, she is healing off of all her damage due to that Cybernetic Leech augment. And it looks like it's going to be enough to win this round. The good news is Grillo also won his round as well with his 7 Sorks board. And so we're going to win the lobby on 1 HP there. Woo! Really close game. Very entertaining game. I feel a little bit bad because I said I definitely think I made some mistakes in terms of building my team. I do think this would have been a lot better if I could have put 6 on in. I'm kind of kicking myself for not taking out Trist and putting in Warwick because I really think that my board would have been a lot stronger with that. But hey, I kind of lucked out. I hit the Zeri 3-star, and that was enough to carry me together with the Jinx. So a very fun and memorable game, even if, like I said, made a couple mistakes. Also, Grillo with 5 Sork emblems is pretty hilarious. He definitely hit the point of diminishing returns, but still won anyway. All right, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, hope you guys are having a great week. Take care, folks.